Okay, here we go. This one's long. I got page front and back of notes, so don't forget anything. The illusion of time. So I really want to talk about time and the fourth dimension. So everybody has this one wrong. Everybody has this one wrong, except for probably the people in charge. So and they're telling you about it wrong as well. They're all like, the fourth dimension. Let's go into the fourth dimension. If we could travel into the fourth dimension, you can't travel into a non-existent thing. Let's start there. You can't travel into something that doesn't exist. So that's the first big point. Is time doesn't actually exist. That's why it's called an illusion. That's why it's always being called time is an illusion, and it's true. It is an illusion by the literal definition. It alludes to a thing. So and let's go over the definition of the word dimension real quick. Let me show you let me read to you the real definition of the word dimension, because nobody seems to understand what this word means. People seem to think this is another a parallel dimension, another world, another thing you can go into. No, it says here, dimension, a measurable extent of some kind. That's it. A measurable extent of some kind. Can you go into something that you measure? Don't listen to mainstream science. This is how they get you, is they get you with these big words and they don't tell you what they actually mean. They just start using them in context, and then your mind places the definition because they're using it in a context that you recognize. You're like, oh, they're using it in a way that really just means world, another word. No, that's not what it means. That's how they're using it, but that's not what it means. What it means is a measurable extent of some kind. It's literally what it says there, such as length, breadth, depth, or height. Or height. That means something you can measure. That's why we have clocks, because clocks measure time. They measure the passage of time. And the way we know that time even is time at all is because there's a sun above our head going in a circle. That's what's giving us our time, is because that is the thing we follow. It never stops. It never goes away. It's always there. We can always follow it. That's why it's used as time. That's why we use it as time. That's why it's referred to the way it is in ancient times. So time has no flow. Time has no medium. There's no thing. You can measure it, but it's a moment to moment event. It is a phenomenon. By definition, it is a phenomenon. Let's look up phenomenon. Phenomenon definition. A fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen, especially ones whose cause or explanation is in question. So a fact, a situation that is observed to exist or happen. So if I take this paper, here's a phenomenon. I ripped the paper. That was a phenomenon for you. Now we can't take it back, and that's an example of time. You've changed something. That is what time is change. It is not... There is no medium. There's nothing to travel through. It's why you can't go back in time, is because you've changed something, and this world is permanent. And this brings up the other thing. Here's another point. We'll cross that one off. This one brings up the non-linear thing. So everybody thinks time is linear and it just moves forward. It's not moving at all. There's nothing moving. There is no motion to time. There's no motion. There's no going from here to here. There is nothing. It simply changed. We'll do it again. It simply changed, and you can't go back. you can't put it back. That's all you did. You changed a physical object, and it has given you the illusion of time. Time has not moved forward. You tore a piece of paper, is what you did. You changed the physical world, is what you did. There is no moving. There is no linear. What it is really is multilinear, because now we've changed an object. But me changing this didn't change anything else. I didn't rip up. Here's why I have the guitar here. So here's an example of multilinear. So we have one string, and this is it brings up, it all runs together. So there's that, and we'll go to the next one, the moment to moment phenomenon. So like that was an example of the moment to moment phenomenon, because you can't change it back, right? That was a moment ago. So like, but it technically wasn't a moment ago. It's still the same. If you've heard of the eternal now, it's still the same moment that it's always been. At the beginning of time is the same as now. There's been no change. Nothing has moved forward. It's just the physical world has been changing. It gives the illusion of time. It alludes to a moving forward. There is no moving forward. It's just the physical world changing around you. So like, if I pluck the string, there's no time. The string has no time. I can give it time by plucking it. So like time is emergent. That crossed that off. Time is emergent. So like, time is emergent from events. That means until something happens, until from the beginning of a process, that object has gained time until the end of that process, and then it loses time. It's out of time. There's no more time for that process anymore. So it's like individualistic. That's why me tearing the paper didn't affect this water bottle here, is because time is individualistic to matter. The physical world, it's based in matter. That's why they always confuse you. They're like space-time, which is kind of true. They are linked together. This should be evidence of it. Plucking a string, and the string, I gave it time. Now it's run out. Now it's out of time because you can't hear it anymore. It's not vibrating anymore. It's out of time, so it stopped moving. I've interacted with it, and now its interaction is over. That means it's time. That interaction is over. It's not happening anymore. All I did was change the physical world. Time did not move forward. I changed the string is what happened. I interacted with an object. So like, here's multilinear. Multiple things happening at the same time, that's multilinear. Should be self-explanatory. And they all take different amounts of time to run out because they're not the same type of string. It's physical objects. They all differ. You know what I mean? They're all different. This is how you experience time, is from interactions. So like, as soon as an interaction happens, just like I explained and showed, I gave it time. And we can see that its time is running out because it stopped vibrating. There's no more interaction. As soon as the interaction is over, its time is over. But technically, its interaction isn't over because we're still in an atmosphere. There's air around. There's still things happening to it technically. But we're just focusing on the string itself because we would have to be in a void for me to truly show that. And that's why time. Yeah, it doesn't actually move forward, but it only moves forward. You can't go back in time, and this is why. Is because it's about a physical change to the world. It's not about a medium or a flow of time moving forward, whatever that would even freaking mean. How is there a medium to time? What are you gonna? A medium means something. There's air here. I can grab that. That's a medium. There's no medium to time. I can't. It's, that's time. The pencil fell on the table. That's time. You saw it go from my hand to the table. That's time. It changed. That's all that happened. Something didn't move. There's no like all-encompassing thing that moved forward. So like if this brings question about just your own time, that means that as soon as you were born, well, as soon as you became a living thing in the womb, as soon as you became like matter in the womb, like even before that technically, but we won't go that far, but like you get what I'm saying. As soon as your matter that makes up you began, that was when your time technically began. You just weren't alive. You just weren't alive then. You weren't, you know what I mean. But like as soon as you die, your time is not over. Your time is over because the interactions with your body. Actually, that's not true because you die and there's still more interactions going. But you get the point here. As soon as interaction with matter is over, time is over. But see, technically you go on forever because your matter, it falls in and it degrades, which is which I didn't write this down. Coffins stop this process. That's a whole nother video. Coffins stop your time. They at least slow it down. They do something to it. They alter it in some way. We'll talk about that in another video. So, the eternal now. If you've heard them talk about the eternal now, that one actually is true. It's the whole thing I've been explaining. It's why things are permanent is because it's the same moment that it's always been and always will be, and there is no moving forward. It's just no one explains how this is possible, how it works, none of the videos online that I see where they talk about the eternal now. They talk about it like a great thing and sure whatever, but like they don't tell you they can. This is what I'm saying about the mainstream. They confuse you about everything. They don't tell you how it works, or they lie to you entirely and mix everything with lies and truth, and you really don't know what's up and down and forward and like if time were linear, nothing would be possible. Music would not be possible. This would not be possible because multiple interactions would not be possible. If it was linear, think about what it would mean for time to be linear. Are you because time is tied to physical objects. It's tied to interactions. It's tied to because it's emergent from events. So wherever there is something happening, there is time. But it's a phenomenon. It's an illusion too. It's not. There's nothing actually moving forward. It's just an object changing. It's just the physical world changing.